Hello everybody and welcome back to more Sonic Colors for the Nintendo Wii. And in this episode, even though I did say I'd be moving onwards to Planet Wisp, I'd like to take a quick detour to Asteroid Coaster because this one has the Frenzy Wisp. What I'm going to be doing right now is just unlocking this off screen, as this will allow me to use it on Planet Wisp. You'll see why in a minute. When we come round to actually going through Asteroid Coaster itself, I'll obviously show Act 1 in full and everything, but it just seems a bit unnecessary playing through that level on screen, when really I'm going to be doing it later twice. Before moving onward to Planet Wisp though, we might as well hear Eggman's PA.
Next stop, Planet Wisp. This attraction is currently off limits, as it is still under construction and may not be dangerous enough for visitors yet.
The purpose of this is I just unlocked Frenzy Wisp on Asteroid Coaster, and if I go over to here, there's the Spike Wisp. Once this is unlocked, all the Wisps are there, meaning that if you want to get all S ranks the easiest way, this is the recommended route to do.
Enjoy every moment in the luxurious grounds as if they might be your last, especially if you're a meddlesome hedgehog or his fawning sidekick.
Right, so at the beginning you might be wondering, why did the title card say Tropical Resort? Shouldn't it say Planet Wisp instead? Well, I did a little bit of research in this place. It turns out that there's no actual Eggman PA announcements in Planet Wisp. So what I'm going to be doing is using the last remaining ones from Tropical Resort and Starlight Carnival. Episode 7 of course will have the Tropical Resort ones, but episode 8 after that, as we go through more of Planet Wisp, we'll have Starlight Carnival instead. I feel like that's more of a way to show off some of the PA announcements, because there were some that I just could not use in time for Tropical Resort since there wasn't really enough acts. I mean, there's 6 of them in each level, so I can only use 6, when there's really more than that. Planet Wisp though is an absolutely glorious level. I mean, I remember when I first saw pictures of this game, as well as like footage during development, I was really mind blown by Planet Wisp. A magazine I used to read actually back in the day was the Official Nintendo magazine, and in 2010, around summertime I think it was, that's when they showed off some of the pictures with Planet Wisp and everything, and I was just like, oh my god, I really need to get this game immediately. Funny enough though, when I actually saw the magazine one time say about Sonic Colors, I straight up thought that they were referring to a coloring book, because the name just sounded so bizarre to me. It doesn't sound like the kind of name you would give to a video game or anything. It really confused me a lot as a kid in places. Because all the Wisps are also unlocked, I'm not really going to be talking about them, and we've already seen them in action with all the other levels, right? We've literally seen Spikes straight up from Tropical Resort, so I'm not really going to talk about it here in Planet Wisp. From here on out, the commentary might be just a little bit more versatile when explaining about other things and places. There is this part that I do like though of this level, where when we go through this bit, it reminds me a lot of Unleashed. You could say it's very similar to that section in Tropical Resort from the very beginning, but this one is way more intense in places, and there's alternative paths to take as well to get the red rings, and just, you know, it keeps you on your toes. This is like the true 3D side of things with Sonic the Hedgehog. Not sure if I brought this up yet, but I also really like the music variations of the acts, particularly in Planet Wisp, Act number 2. I mean, number 1 is definitely the most popular, everyone loves this track, but oh, there's just something unique about all the other versions with Planet Wisp, and the same goes for all the other worlds that we've been to as well. It gives me a sort of Banjo-Kazooie vibe to it. Although I don't even know if Banjo-Kazooie was the very first to do it, there might have even been another game before that which utilised that first, but the first game that always comes to mind with that sort of stuff is Banjo-Kazooie. So it's nice to see that Colors does utilise that. This also is probably a perfect time while I'm navigating through all this section right here to talk about the script of Sonic Colors. I am kind of mixed by the script, to tell you the truth. Like, some people really like the humor in this game, they think it's really funny in places, but to me, I don't know, I find it way too childish, in my opinion, compared to all the other previous Sonic titles where it was more kind of serious, trying to take down Dr. Eggman, and the jokes are very sort of toilet humor based, and I'm not really too fond of the writing in this one in particular. I mean, there are some sections where it does work well. I think Eggman, Orbot, and Cubot work fine, but Sonic and Tails, just their whole thing that they've had from the adventure days and all sorts is really, really lacking, and it throws me off as a really hardcore Sonic fan, to tell you the truth. The jokes feel really in your face in my book. Like, they're letting you know that it is a joke, and you need to laugh. That's what it comes off as to me, anyway. Another thing that's different, though, is the area map. Usually I don't show this up leading on to the next area, mainly because it actually shows what rank you got. And because I couldn't get all the S ranks from the start, it would say B, but instead it said S. So now on to Act 2.
Would Sonic the Hedgehog please report to the security office? Sonic the Hedgehog, please report to the security office. We found your keys. Yes, that's it. We found your keys. No need to be ready for a trap, since we only want to return your keys.
Oh, yeah, I believe you on that one. So remember before where I said that Act 2 is my favourite music variation in Planet Wisp? Act 2 is my least favourite act in Planet Wisp. Mainly because, here's the thing, I'm going for the top ranks, right? You need to utilise colours and stuff if you want to reach it. There is one Wisp in this whole act, and you need over 1,000,000 points if you want to get that S rank. Which kind of makes it a little bit tedious to get when you can literally only use one Wisp throughout this whole level. I mean, I can't get any super bonus to boost it up to 1,000,000, so I technically have to speedrun through this whole entire level and even have rings at my disposal in order to get it. Not to mention on this bit as well, you need to definitely get the slam at the end, because it gives you this special bonus. If you miss that, you're not going to get it. This is one of those missions that's really, really tedious to get the S ranks. All the other ones were a-okay, because it was mainly just memorize where the red rings were, utilize the colors and go through it super fast. But this one is really, really damn fast. Like, almost technically a speed run. It gives me strong vibes, actually, of the Team Dark mission from Ocean Palace and Sonic Heroes, since that one required you to get 90,000 points. This one is nearly 1,000,000. The main problem is, with all the other acts in Planet Wisp, I'm aware that you need to get around 1,000,000 points. But at least with those, you do have other Wisps to use, as well as getting special bonuses and whatnot. You're not limited to just one. That's the main reason why this is really tedious to get the S rank. It's probably one of the hardest S ranks to get in the game, if I'm gonna be honest. As I really do not enjoy doing this one at all. It's fine if you want to play it casually though, remember that.
The following rides are closed for repairs. The free money ride, it's an all-you-can-eat world, and pick a car, any car.
Act 3 at the very start, for some reason, has recycled content from Act 1. That section that I gushed over saying that, oh, this is good 3D Sonic, it reminds me a lot of Unleashed when trying to go fast but dodging things along the way. Yeah, it's recycled. It's in Act 3. Not sure why. For some reason in Sonic Colors, later parts of the game, they tend to use a lot of recycled content. I'm assuming that's probably because they were trying to get this out by the end of 2010, and when this game was first announced, everybody was super excited about it. Like, really, really excited, because they were finally like, oh my god, this could finally be a really good 3D Sonic game that we haven't had in so many years. And that leads me on to another topic, actually. I will agree that even though my opinions are completely mixed about this game, some parts I love, some parts I just can't understand at all, it was the 3D Sonic game, 3D, that we needed. Because see, before that, we had the likes of Sonic Heroes, which people did like, but didn't think was the best ever. Me, myself, I love that game a lot. We had Shadow the Hedgehog, which had very, very, very bad reception. Then we had Sonic and the Secret Rings, which was not very good with the motion controls. Unleashed, which was ruined with the Werehog, with the general public. So Colors was a nice refreshment of the Hedgehog coming back, you know? In the previous Sonic titles, there was always some weird gimmick that gets thrown in. It was dubbed as the Sonic Cycle, where the game gets announced, everybody gets excited. Then later on, throughout the year, a gimmick gets introduced. People start to worry about that gimmick. The game gets finally released, and then it turns out that the gimmick ruins the part of the game, if not the game as a whole. And then this is a process that repeated through all the Sonic games. So it's nice to see that when Colors came out, the gimmicks were just little wisps, a little bit of a gimmick thrown in, but it didn't get too much in the way. Apart from the Cube Wisp, that was really dumb in my opinion, since that feels very slow in places, but even still. So I will accept that Colors is the game we all needed.
Please refrain from foiling evil schemes, plots, and/or plans while inside the park. Foiling is strictly prohibited.
Oh wow, check that out. I never knew that Eggman was actually secretly Monokuma. At number 4 of Planet Wisp, I really like. Mainly just because in terms of the preference in what route you want to take. You see, what there is a casual route starting from the very bottom if you want to run through every single piece of it, but the advanced route requires you to literally use Wisp in a specific place, so that then it allows you to gain access to a route that practically takes you straight towards the end. It's almost like rewarding you for exploration. Gives you a very puzzly side of it, but it works well with Sonic, because it's a fast route as well. At first when I played this, I was a bit confused as for where to go in order to get the S ranks and grab all the red rings, but literally where the red rings are located in that just caters well for which path you want to take. I mean, straight up, I could go to the right, that would be the casual route, but if you take the laser route, you can actually get the Rocket Wisp, and then after acquiring this red ring, use a Rocket Wisp from here, which is indicated with the caution line on the side of the path. It leads you to this path, with this giant grind rail section. That's really cool design, because it gives you preference. I know I've mentioned that a lot, but that's the thing that I like the most when it comes to video games. The amount of preference that you have depending on the way that you want to play it. It's also got a great concept of a level as well, because you're scaling up this giant tower. It's probably one of the more memorable assets of Planet Wisp, especially since when you get to the peak, it's practically to the top. It would have been quite fitting actually to have this as Act 6, a final one, and then have a boss at the very top where you fight it, because that's another thing. None of the levels really feel linked. I'll go on more about that though in the next episode, so take it guys, I hope you've enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in episode 8 of Sonic Colors.